All right, welcome back to the Attack the Rack YouTube channel. This is the Attack the Rack podcast. We come to you every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Myself and Big Mo. Big Mo, this is episode 49 of the podcast.
Whoa.
Um, we've done four now since we've rebooted here. There's been some different eras of the podcast. Started back in early 2022. I did a few just solo, which I think if you dig down deep into the depths of the Attack the Rack YouTube channel, you might be able to find those first few episodes. Then I got into doing interviews, which you were a part of a couple of those. And then last year, we kind of switched and just made it a me and you thing. And I think we did with the two of us, we did maybe like 11 episodes last year. Um, and then we've done four this year. So yeah, anyway, episode 49 here, Big Mo. If my math is correct, I believe that would make next week's episode 50, which is kind of a really neat number.
Well, yeah, halfway to 100.
Halfway to 100. 25% to 200. So
Well, sure, sure.
Big Mo, can you believe it though? This is the last weekend in July already.
I can't believe it, Curt. It's the summer has flown by, but when you're staying busy, that tends to happen.
Yep. And kids will be getting ready to go back to school soon, teachers as well. So that'll be really neat for those teachers out there. Um, so it is Friday afternoon right now while we are recording here. So we're at the end of the week. Um, how was your week, Big Mo? Did you do anything fun this week?
Yeah, it was a good week. Besides, I'm obviously doing some other podcast with yourself and Trent. I don't know. Is there an official name to those ones?
Yeah, that's called the Attack the Rack Daily Lineup.
Oh, that's the Daily Lineup
Yes.
podcast. You can follow those on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday around 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Besides doing those, which are amazingly fun
Yeah, those
and
are getting a lot of traction.
entertaining.
Yeah.
What day? I'm trying to think what day it is. Wednesday. Wednesday I was out at Gun Lake.
Oh, the casino?
Well, I drove by the casino, and if you haven't been out there, the hotel is really coming along.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Oh wow, a huge glass window structure. Yeah, a couple guys on the rooftop working when I drove by the other day. No, I to Gun Lake, the lake,
Oh, the actual lake itself.
the actual lake itself, Kurt.
Okay.
Um, Spent some time in the water, did a little tubing, took a little pontoon stroll around the lake, or
Okay.
part of the lake. I think the lake is huge, so part of the lake. So yeah, I got to spend some time with my daughter and some other friends, and yeah, so that was a good time. Do a little, I'm not much of a I don't know if I've ever really tubed before. I got to be honest. Um, yeah, but I did a little tubing behind a jet ski.
Hmm.
Yeah, just got to hang out in the sun. Nice warm day.
How'd your
Uh,
body feel the next day?
Pretty good, Kurt. Pretty
Okay. I've
good.
heard I've heard that your body can get a little sore from tubing.
It probably can. I only did a couple rounds. I did lose my. I had a little smartwatch that was like a cheaper one.
Okay.
Lost that as I
Oh,
as I took a tumble in. It must have fallen off, and I didn't even recognize it. So otherwise, hey, yeah, good day spent out at the lake.
nice, nice. That's cool. Um, well, hey, speaking of this afternoon as we're recording, the Olympics opening ceremonies are going on right now. I don't know if you tuned in at all to that. It will be replayed tonight during prime time, but
Oh,
it is going on right now. It's pretty cool. They're doing it. I wish I knew the name of the river. Goes right through Paris, and instead
yeah,
of
they're all riding ferries or something like that through.
yeah, like these big boats. So it's kind of cool. So
Yeah, no, I tuned in. Like I said, I wouldn't probably watch it, but I tuned in. I saw an interview with Steph Curry and um, Aja Wilson.
okay,
They were decked out in their Olympic gear.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, no, it looked like a pretty eventful intro.
Okay. Well, I mean, it usually is. It's usually a show. It's usually a production. You don't have to necessarily be a sports fan to enjoy that part of the Olympics. Um, speaking of the Olympics, this just popped in my head too, Big Mo.
Oh,
Um, and I'll tell you why in a second here. But another one of your former players. Last week, we talked about one of your former players, Nick Wells,
one
hit.
of ours, our former players, right?
Well, I mean, I was JV coach. You were
Okay.
there on varsity.
Yeah, Kurt, it's a program thing. You
True,
can't do it by yourself.
true. But anyway, last week Nick Wells, former player, hit me up letting us know he's enjoying the show. This past week now, former player Tony Ortiz. Shout out Tony Ortiz. Hit us up, letting us know he's enjoying what we're doing. But the reason I bring that up too is he told me, and we talked about this the other night on the Daily Lineup Show, that this year, new event in the Olympics, and that is breakdancing.
Yeah, breaking.
Breaking the, oh yeah, sorry, they're calling it breaking.
Yeah, I think yeah. No, it'll be obviously good to see some former guys tune in. You know, yeah,
I,
I'll be interested to watch the breaking. I have no clue what.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's weird. The city that we live in the era we grew up in, and even maybe but the guys and gals, even maybe a touch older than us, were real. I mean, there was some real serious breakdancing in our little city here.
oh,
It was a really big thing. There was some crews. In fact, there is a pretty well known crew right now. Shout out Jacob Castorina if he's listening. He's got a pretty big popular breakdance crew. I think he even maybe gives lessons as well. So it's a pretty big thing here in our area. So I've reached out to a couple buddies of mine who I know that would find, that would really spark their interest, and they're all pretty excited and definitely brings a lot of great memories back to the 80s and 90s. So it should be fun to watch.
yeah.
I'll definitely watch it.
Maybe
So
you could demonstrate sometime for us on the.
no, I
Oh, oh,
I enjoyed.
you did not partake in those events.
No, but I was an observer.
Oh, okay, all right,
Just
gotcha.
like I will be observing it.
I thought I remember seeing you on the dance floor once or twice breaking it down.
Maybe breaking it down, but I wouldn't consider it break dancing, that's for
Oh,
sure.
okay.
All right, so maybe we'll have to check that out a little bit. Maybe check out a little of the opening ceremonies. But overall, is there any events that you do plan on watching, or that you traditionally watch, or you kind of get into at all?
No, nothing that I get into. I think whatever's, I'll pop it on over the next what is it, like 3 weeks?
3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. I'll watch whatever's on there, especially if the USA is competing. But it's always fun to watch just the best athletes in the world go at it. Yourself, you got one you're gonna besides
Well,
breaking?
I I like watching like the sprinting, and the high jumping, and um, some of the shorter swimming events. Um, I do find it odd though that why I'm sure there's a lot of people like me that watch these events during the Olympics, but that's it. Like why don't I tune into the World Championships? It's probably all the same competitors, but yet, I mean, I would never even think to
Yeah,
watch it
probably
then.
tougher to find though, right? I mean,
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah, I mean, I wonder why that is.
yeah, just not quite the draw, Kurt. Not quite the draw.
Maybe that's also too. I mean, they do that every year, where the Olympics is every four. Makes
Yeah.
it a little bit bigger deal, I guess. Um, any any um any great Olympic memories that you can think of?
I think the number one would be the probably the '92, the real dream team.
Yeah.
Just be able to. I mean, just the fact. I think. I mean, at that point, I believe was Magic out of the league. he kind of
Yeah.
came back and played.
Yeah, he was out. Yeah.
Bird was on the tail end of his career, but he decided to try to play,
Yeah.
even being injured. Um, you team them up with obviously like the likes of uh, who else was on there? Barkley, Jordan,
Hmm.
all these guys just together.
Yeah.
Uh, it was kind of just fun to watch them like just destroy everybody else in their path. So that would probably be the number one. I think the number one for me personally, being able to watch, being a basketball guy, having those guys all come together finally and like really compete against other teams. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, I know too. And for me, I was a 12-year-old kid that, it was the coolest thing I ever remember seeing, always always wondering what it would be like if because up until that point, the US had never had their pro basketball players play
Yeah,
in the Olympics. So it was the very first time that we got a team with all of our really, truly best basketball players who were all the best in the world at that time. I mean, I think you mentioned on one of the shows this week, there was like nine total NBA players in the Olympics that played for other teams that year.
yeah,
Now there's 61.
correct. Yeah, no, I think, and just thinking about like just the craze of like the McDonald's cups.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
looking at. I've got the whole set right here. I'm looking at it right
yeah,
now. So you got
you know,
three of them right there on
yeah, and I've
display.
got like down in my basement, I've got like the starting what are those little
Oh yeah,
figures?
starting lineups with
Sorry, I got the '92 starting lineup set.
those are
Yeah.
worth money.
Well, yeah, it's tucked away somewhere, but and I've got some other Olympic stuff that I collected after the fact. So,
Yeah,
yeah, so definitely, probably the best memory, just the highlight getting being basketball related.
yeah. No, I would agree. Do you think there's ever been in a team sport a team in any sport ever put together that was as good as that team? Is that the GOAT of all team sport teams? I think it's got to be.
Yeah, yeah, probably most likely, right? I mean, that was like, I mean, obviously, you're taking, I mean, now you're thinking 20 years ago, Curt, that like the top 50, the first time they did like the top 50 in the
Yeah,
NBA All Star kind of weekend thing.
yeah,
I mean, how many of those guys? I mean, every one of those, probably single one of those guys was on that top 50 team.
yeah. Except Christian Laettner.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not counting him anyway.
No, I
Um,
know.
so yeah, no, I don't. I doubt it. Like, it's got to be. It would be awesome it would have been awesome to see them probably 4 years earlier
Yes,
when
exactly.
those guys were probably in their a little bit more of their prime.
Yeah, yeah,
But still an amazing group to watch.
yeah. Just a ton of fun. A lot of great memories. One other thing. Speaking of '92, now that was in Barcelona.
Yep.
Remember the Reebok ads, the Reebok sponsor advertisement stuff with Dave and Dan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so they're decathletes. Is that what you'd call them? Decathletes. Did the decathlon.
Yeah, yeah, sounds right.
Yeah. So Dan O'Brien and Dave Johnson. Um and then I mean there's this huge ad campaign for Reebok leading up to the Olympics, leading up really to the trials, because what ended up happening is Dan O'Brien, one of the two, didn't even end up qualifying for the Olympics, which was crazy.
Was he the younger one, younger looking one, or
I'm not sure.
okay? All right, I'm trying to remember on the top of my head here what
Um,
they kind of look like here. I
but
might forget.
Dave did qualify and actually did go and win the bronze. So um, you looking it up? Who was younger?
Well, I was just looking up the picture, try to
Okay,
really shake my memory there a little bit.
yeah, but that was kind of a memory that stands out too. Just the whole campaign, really, not even necessarily the actual Olympics, but that whole ad campaign was just huge because at that point Nike was taking over, and Reebok needed to do something to try to compete with Nike.
Yeah, yeah. Some interesting posters. Oh, so yeah, no, it was Yeah, no, I mean, I don't remember a ton about that. Obviously, we said which one Dan didn't make it,
Yeah, he didn't qualify. Yeah, Dan didn't qualify. So,
but
which was kind of a
what
big,
probably a bummer. Probably a bummer for the Reebok people.
yeah, talk about a backfire.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I guess I'd say one more too, and you mentioned this one earlier this week on the daily lineup show too, the Michael Johnson gold shoes.
Oh,
That was
yeah, yeah, yes. Yeah, no, no. I thought that was. I mean, obviously we're throwing it way back, but I would compare that to some of the Usain Bolt
yeah, he was
um,
awesome.
dramatics as well, like that type of. So
Yeah,
some of those sprints are pretty fun to watch.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. They put on a good show too. I mean,
They do.
it's fun. So and then speaking too of the Olympics, I noticed like with the women's basketball team, I see Angel Reese all over the place in Paris. So she must be there, must be hanging out with the team. Maybe there's a bunch of other players that aren't actually on the team hanging out too. But obviously, she's always kind of she's got a big social media presence, always in the media kind of thing. But speaking of her, she just signed. Have you heard of this women's 3-on-3 league that's going to get going here? It's called Unrivaled.
Well, I just saw the news that she signed with some 3-on-3. I don't know anything about the rival league or
Yeah, it's
what
called
it is.
Unrivaled. Yeah. Players, Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart are the ones that are kind of behind it. And it's a 3-on-3 league though. So I guess it'll be kind of like watching the big three a little bit, I guess. But I don't know, it seems kind of odd. It's in the winter, which is the off season of the WNBA, but now you're competing with the NBA and college basketball. Um, we'll see. I mean, the 3-on-3 game, even the big three, the Ice Cubes League, which has a lot of, really great former NBA players, I don't think is super popular.
Yeah, but it must be doing all right because they keep doing it. And
No, for sure.
so maybe there's a spot for the women's side of that, and probably gives those women a chance. If they're not playing overseas,
Yeah.
they're sticking around the states, and it gives them something to do during their off season.
Yeah, because usually they go and they do play overseas in the winter.
Yeah,
Um, but then it's like, well, why doesn't the WNBA just? I mean, their season is so short; it's only 40 games. Why don't they just make their season longer and then everyone can just stay in America and play a longer season?
yeah. Probably that. I mean, probably because the pay. I think the pay overseas is sometimes better than.
Well, I mean, it is, but you got to think, okay, if you do like the NBA, they play 82 games. So even though the WNBA revenue is significantly less, and I think even with the Caitlin Clark explosion this year, I still think they're in the red overall. But more games, more revenue, you can pay the players more. Um, but then again, I mean, you really can't either because none of these teams ever turn a profit. So how do you pay them more money if you don't make any money either?
Yeah,
But
and then you're. I mean, I don't. It's probably. I mean, you're getting into. You probably go longer. That means now you're getting into the NFL season,
that's a good point.
college football season. And if you start
Great.
earlier, then you're kind of competing with the NBA a little more.
Yeah,
It's kind of nice, probably at this point.
good
They
point.
probably almost wind down just after the start of the NFL. Probably the playoffs
Yeah,
are
they
probably
they
a couple
they
weeks into it.
well they get started during the NBA playoffs and they wind down during the first few weeks of the NFL season.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And I
that's
think
a good
that's
point. Yeah,
probably a spot for scheduling there for them to kind of
yeah.
feel
And
good
then
about it
really in
all.
the summer, all they're really competing with is Major League Baseball. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean there's some other big name WNBA players already signed up too. Arika, help me with the last name. Aku
Ooh.
Able.
I'm not going to say it again because I don't have it in front of me. So I got it right last time. I'm going to say 100%.
Well, she's playing in it. Obviously, she was the MVP of the WNBA All-Star game, scoring 34 points all in the second half. And then also Jewel Lloyd is playing, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, to name a few. So all of which outside of Kelsey Plum and Brianna Stewart, I've never heard of any of these other players until starting to follow the WNBA this year just because of Caitlin Clark. So,
Well, you're just a new fan of the WNBA, Curt.
well, I don't know if I'd say that. I'm just I like watching Caitlin Clark play.
Okay.
Really, I really do. I like watching her play. So,
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
yeah. So,
Where are we at here? Are we at the halftime?
yeah, I think we're probably about halfway through here.
All right, all right. So we got a little halftime adjustment, huh?
Yeah.
What do you got? Are you going? How about you go first this time?
Um,
Or do you want to keep it the same? Is that a part of
oh,
the?
that's fine. That's fine. I'm trying to think
Ooh.
what I want to go with here.
Well, I'll start with Curt. How about this halftime adjustment?
Yeah.
Can we do something about car insurance?
Oh, yeah.
Come on. There's got to be a better way to make this all work. I
Well, before you get into this, I just want to say, knock on wood, fingers crossed. I haven't had any issues yet, but all I keep hearing about is it's going up or something. Is that right?
what? First of all, obviously, if you have kids, it's probably unreal. Like to be
Yeah.
able to. But my son just got into an accident about a month ago.
Yeah.
Got hit by a motorcycle, and the car was totaled. And it
Yeah.
was not really totaled, but the insurance says it's totaled, so it must have been like some framework.
Okay.
You know, not his fault completely. I mean, it wasn't his fault. And now we got to go. Now we got to go out and find another car.
Yeah.
And we just paid. All you just paid a year's worth of payments plus a down payment, and you had nothing to show for it. Now you're like back to square zero,
Yeah.
and for nothing that he did.
Yeah.
Like, where's the help?
Yeah. What's the point of paying this every month if then when you
Yeah, I
actually
mean, I will say at least they've covered the cost of the loan on the car insurance, but again,
yeah.
it just puts you back at square one, and you've lost a little bit of what you
Yeah.
put forward, what you paid forward, what you put down, and
Yeah.
now, but to none of your fault, which is good, I guess. I mean, at least you're not behind the eight ball, but you did lose all that you were working towards, and it was for yeah. So hey, there's got to be a better way for it to do this stuff. I mean, obviously, yeah. So there's my halftime. Justin, can we find a better way to handle car insurance, Curt?
No, 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 for sure. Maybe you want to see if you can get maybe your local congressman involved on that one, see if they can go to bat for you.
I'll work on that.
But no, no, for sure. I mean, it's one of those necessary evils. Like you have to have it.
True. No,
But
it
it's
definitely, and it's well worth it.
now I will say too, like I've had a couple of issues, and at least, and maybe again, I'm just was fortunate, but I feel like when you had an issue, it used to be like just a crazy headache, pain in the butt, wait on hold, have to have the conversation with this person, then this person, then this person. For me, everything went kind of quick and smooth, but I didn't have near the situation that you're talking about either.
Yeah, and and I don't. Again, I think it's been fairly smooth. It's just the fact that I feel like we're just
Yeah.
for not causing the problem. You still lose out a little bit. You feel like it should just be a little more um a little more positive because you are paying.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you just want to be a little more taken care of, maybe.
yeah, yeah. Your son not at fault at all, but now hugely, not just him, but obviously you trying
Yeah,
to
yeah,
hugely inconvenience,
yes, yeah, yeah,
huge
yeah,
inconvenience, huge, amount of time that you got to put into this when it's not even your fault.
yeah, exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So hey, maybe there's someone out there listening who has a better way to do it all. Get a
Hey.
hold of your local congressman because I
Oh,
don't have the answer.
all right. Well, mine is man, the NBA and TNT. NBA not renewing their contract with TNT. Obviously, they can get more money elsewhere, probably like Amazon, probably, which I think we're going to start to see with all the major sports. They're probably all gonna go to the streaming services at some point where they can make a lot more money. But at some point, it's like, how much money is enough? I mean, do you factor in the fan experience at all? I mean, as a fan, would you rather tune into TNT or have to pay for a streaming service? You know, the games that were on NFL Prime last year, a lot of them seem to have a little bit of technical difficulties here or there. But most importantly, the number one, arguably the number one pregame show, you know, the NBA on TNT pregame show with Shaq, Barkley, Kenny, Ernie will
Yeah.
be no more unless one of these other, streaming services or one of these other networks that's going to cover the NBA will pick them up. But
Well, I don't think they can they? With Ernie, I think Ernie
oh,
doesn't. Ernie won't work for anybody else besides
okay,
TNT. I think so.
okay. So I mean, yeah, I think that's a big adjustment the NBA needs to make. Like, it'd be one thing if you like were, kind of more like the WNBA where you needed the money, you need to figure out ways to make more money. The NBA makes so much money. Um, at some point, where's that line where you're like, okay, we're making enough money. Let's consider the fan experience here more so than trying to make even more money. And I think the fan experience is phenomenal with the NBA on TNT. Most importantly, with that
Yeah. Who did they accept the contract through? Was it Prime?
I thought it was Prime, maybe, or maybe they're saying it.
It was Prime. I think it was Prime. Now you say that. I'm just going to see if Dale can fact check that for us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% sure on that. Obviously, ESPN will still have NBA. But yeah, I mean that would be my adjustment from the week.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's go NBA. Come on.
Well, that's an iconic show. You
Yeah.
just you hope they could figure that out just to keep those four guys around.
Yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes it takes a little falter to make the right correction. So maybe the NBA will figure it out that's maybe hurts them a little more than
Yeah.
what. So
Yeah. So anyway, that's my adjustment for the week, Big Mo. The halftime, as we approach the halftime part here of the program this week. So yeah, you got we need an adjustment with the insurance company. I got an adjustment we need with the NBA. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. Curt, what did I say? 29 days away from the first NFL game.
wow.
Does that sound right?
No,
28?
no, because that would still put us in August.
Oh,
Usually
what?
the second Sunday in September. Well, the Thursday before that. So
Probably close.
yeah, but it's got to be 30 something days away. But either way, we're getting freaking close, baby.
Um, oh, let's see. Yeah, no, first,
Thursday night, it always opens on that Thursday night
yeah,
before.
September 5th. So yeah, you're right. So
Close.
close, close,
Yeah,
close.
30, 38, 30, oh, probably 38 days. You said,
38 days. Maybe it is
yeah,
38.
you meant 30, you meant 38, not
I
28. But
did. I did mean 38.
yeah, right around the corner, Big Mo. Preseason game, Thursday night. This coming Thursday night, Hall of Fame game. So I don't know. Do you get into the preseason games at all or no?
No, no, no. I mean, you flip through them a little bit. Same. It's like the Olympic um,
Opening ceremony.
opening ceremony. You flip through, you stop, you watch a little bit, you turn.
Yeah.
Um, no, yeah, I won't get into it too much with the NFL stuff. Like you said, I think you probably get into it a little more because you're big into the NFL fantasy
Oh yeah.
fantasy stuff. So, and I haven't done that for a couple of years now. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean I just feel like too like that. I don't know. I always kind of get excited for that first NFL preseason game, but then I end up like not even really watching it. I mean, preseason is even worse than it used to be. It used to be when now they only play 3 games and they used to play 4. And when they would play four, like that first game, all the starters would at least play the first drive. Second game, maybe about the same. Third game, they play the whole first half. Um, and then they wouldn't play it all in the last game. But now they don't even. I mean, the starters don't even really. They don't even suit up, which
No, and they can't. I mean, let's. I mean,
makes sense.
yeah. I mean, you got to take their safety into the thought process, and they're professionals. They don't need the. In reality, they don't need the 3 games.
Yeah,
Most of them you could probably just get rid of all of them. It wasn't if it wasn't for the revenue part of it.
yeah, and I think too it doesn't. And obviously the safety, yes, keeping your best players healthy is super important. But also, I mean, they do have hard decisions when it comes down to like roster decisions, who they're going to cut, who they're going to keep.
True.
How many at this position, how many at that position, who can they hang on to for special teams. So they do need to see the non-starters play in games to make some of those tough decisions. So
Yeah.
well, hey, let's move on now to our segment favorite three. Speaking of football, I got favorite three football movies this
Okay.
week here for our favorite three segment. Looking for a sponsor out there. If you would like to sponsor this segment, you want to sponsor any of our shows here on the YouTube or the Attack the Rack YouTube channel, we do have an email now. You can contact us by email if you'd like to sponsor, or if you have any questions about the program, if you have any comments, concerns.
Questions?
Maybe if we get some good emails, we can do a segment on the podcast here, Big Mo, where we're reading some of these emails.
Sure, sure.
We'll keep it all anonymous, but if you got anything good to say, maybe we can read some of those emails on the program. Also, in regards to the favorite three this week, again, football movies, let us know in the comments. What are your favorite NFL, or not NFL, just football movies? So,
Football based
Big
movies.
Mo, we'll alternate back and forth here. We'll start with
Yeah.
you. Yeah,
Oh, I got to go first. Whoa.
or I can. It's up to you. I was just trying to be
Yeah,
done.
yeah. Why don't you? I think I usually go first. So why don't you take the
Okay.
lead here?
It's tough to it's tough to say what my favorite one is. I got three in mind, so I guess I'll kind of go
We can't repeat them.
right. So yeah, we can't say the same one. That's why I got a
Okay.
list of them here in case you say any of mine. But
Oh,
I'll go
okay.
with I'll start with Any Given Sunday, starring Al Pacino as the head coach, Jamie Foxx as the backup quarterback, who takes over as the starter. Great,
Wow.
great movie.
That is a classic one.
LL Cool
What's that?
LL Cool J is a running back. Bill Bellamy, wide receiver. I think Michael Irvin's in that movie. Um,
Yes.
Jim Brown is an assistant coach. I think is Lawrence Taylor in that movie too, maybe? Yeah,
Yes, he is. Yes.
yeah. So,
That is a classic. I'm gonna there are so many
yeah, there are.
really good ones. Tough decisions here. I'm gonna go with a classic. Trying to remember the exact name. I think it is The Program.
Oh, that is definitely in my top three. I forgot about that. That is
That's
such an awesome
kind of
movie.
a crazy, yeah, just a crazy movie. Little throwback. Um,
College football.
yeah. I'm trying to think who the coach was.
Uh,
James Caan.
James Caan, yeah.
Caan, yeah. So good stuff there. Good stuff.
Yeah, phenomenal film. I'm going to watch that this weekend. Thank you for
Ooh,
bringing that
wow,
up.
yeah, no problem.
My next one, as I was getting the wheels turning, this one isn't one that I thought of initially, but as I really wanted to make sure I was thinking of everything I could. Movie Invincible, Mark
Yeah,
Wahlberg, true story
yeah.
uh, about I can't even think of the character's name. Just a
Um,
random guy. The Philadelphia Eagles, Dick Vermeil,
yeah,
head
yeah.
coach, Philadelphia Eagles, decides he's gonna pull some
Vince
publicity
Papel.
stunt.
Vince Papel.
Yes. Um, yeah. Dick Vermeil decides,
Yeah.
let's pull some kind of publicity stunt here. get our team in the news. Let's have an open tryout. Anyone can come. And yeah, Vince Papelli. Is that how you say his last name?
I think Papel.
Okay,
Papel.
Papel. Okay. Anyway, has a great tryout and ends up making the team. And I think he hung around on the team in the NFL for a couple of years. So
Sorry,
that would
Curt.
be my second one. Invincible.
Okay, all right, I
All right,
like that.
Mark Wahlberg.
Definitely a solid one. I'm gonna go, and this is again there. I think there's about 10 of them. I think that are really solid.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go. We Are Marshall.
Oh, that was a good one. That was on my list too. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's just a great. I mean, a heart wrenching story, and
Yeah.
just
Crazy.
yeah. So that's one I can. That's one if I'm flipping around and I see it on, I probably get glued to it again.
Yeah.
Can, and I don't rewatch a lot of movies, but that's one I can rewatch over and over.
Yeah, great movie. So that was about the Marshall football team where they had a plane crash. Pretty much the entire team died. Actually, I think everyone died. Um, and then so they needed to get a new coach.
Yeah,
There was like three players that didn't travel, so they obviously they were
they
still
stuck
alive,
around. Yeah,
and then they had to rebuild the program. So
yeah, yeah.
um, Matthew McConaughey plays the new coach they get. He does an awesome job in that
Yep,
movie. So
yep.
all right, my third favorite three football movie. I gotta go Rudy. I know it's cliche, but I,
Rudy, Rudy, Rudy.
I mean, gotta love it. Gotta love it. Speaking of inspirational films, gotta go Rudy.
Yeah, no, that's a classic. Can't go wrong with that one. All right, I'm going to end with probably one that's not on top of the list of many, but I can rewatch it over and over again. Is Draft Day
Oh yes, I didn't
uh,
even have that one on my list either.
with Kevin Costner.
We've watched that together several times and
Oh,
always talk about it, and
what's
I didn't even have it on
what's
my list.
what's the line? What's the line I love? Um,
We're not running an after school special here.
I mean, I could watch that one over and over again. So
Yes.
another classic.
Oh, that is such a good movie too. Yeah. I got a couple other here that I had on my list in case you mentioned one of mine. Varsity Blues, remember that one?
That is.
Um,
Remember the Titans?
yes. Couple comedies, Little Giants and Waterboy.
Oh, that is a classic. Those are both classics.
Yeah. Uh,
Um,
The Replacements, Keanu Reeves.
yeah, is that Gene Hackman?
Yes, yes. And then
Oh,
obviously two different versions of The Longest Yard, the original with Burt Reynolds and then
sure.
the remake.
Yeah, good feel, good story. Radio.
Oh, yes, another great one I didn't have on my list. Jeez, Big Mo.
I know.
Yeah.
How about you could really throw it back? I don't watch it a ton. I probably wouldn't rewatch it, but like a Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, yeah. I thought of that, but I was like, is it a football movie or is it a
That's true. It's true.
you
Maybe a
know,
love story.
yeah, agent about sports agencies. But I
Yeah.
got one more for
Oh,
you. All the Right Moves. Have you ever seen that one from the
oh, I
80s?
don't know if I have.
One of Tom Cruise's first movies.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, like he's a high school.
yeah, it's high school. Yeah, in
Yeah,
Pittsburgh. It's like
yeah,
in
yeah. I've seen. I've never watched the whole thing through, but
yeah, and
what
Steel
about
Night. What's
what?
that?
What? How's it say? What about Brian's song?
Yeah, I think that
Uh,
was made twice too, maybe or no?
probably it's
But
probably
yeah,
definitely a
yeah.
remake.
Speaking of James Caan, he was in that too,
And
right?
which one? Brian's song?
Yeah, wasn't James Caan? Didn't he
I
play
think he was
Brian?
maybe
Yeah,
one of the main guys in that one. Yeah,
yeah.
interesting.
So,
Yeah,
uh,
some good football movies there, Curt. Good
yes.
football movies.
Great time of the year to start watching some football movies, getting ready for the season.
Speaking of movies, Curt,
Yeah.
have you gotten a chance to watch Beverly Hills Cop 18 or whatever that is?
Axel F on Netflix.
Yes, yes, that one.
I know that that was one of my assignments, and I have not met that yet. I have started it,
Okay,
so
all right,
yeah, I
all
got to
right.
finish it. I got to the point where I think we're starting to find out that the defense attorney, is maybe his daughter.
Oh yeah, it's a big
Okay.
shocker. Big
All right.
shocker
So
there.
don't tell me anything more.
I won't. I won't. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to
Okay.
that
All right.
future podcast.
Yep.
What
Yep.
about any new movies? I know you're not much of a movie goer.
No, I like watching movies on my couch.
Yes, yes, yes. Don't we all? Don't we all? But I enjoy going to the movies, especially with my kids.
Right.
My daughter tonight is headed to the new Deadpool
Okay.
Wolverine movie. We're both big Marvel fans. That's kind of a different one. Um, you a Marvel person, Curt?
No, I'm not a Marvel person at all.
Okay.
Which I know is makes me a little bit odd because I know they're super popular.
Well,
But I did see the very first Deadpool movie. I didn't even realize that that was considered Marvel. Maybe at the time it wasn't even
it,
Marvel. Now,
it wasn't at the time. I don't think. I think that's it's a new collection, a new edition.
okay. So I thought that movie was great. So I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. Funny. Those are some good kind of,
Yeah.
entertainment. They're entertaining movies. So, how about I went and checked out Twisters, kind of the remake.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, so it is a remake of the original movie. Or,
Well, it's not a remake because it's a little bit different storyline,
oh, okay.
somewhat similar, but well worth watching.
Well, I like the original Twister. In fact, I know I've watched it within the last few months again. So,
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
um,
No,
but
definitely entertaining. I think me and my daughter saw it, and we were actually talking about making maybe a trip to Chicago because
okay.
there's like a 4K or four kind of a different type of movie theater experience. I don't know if it's called 4K though. No, I can't remember. Um, but they kind of gives you a little bit more of like the theater, like your seats might shake
Oh
and
wow.
the surround sound is
Yeah.
different. Maybe they offer like some smells or like
Yeah.
some like around you version type thing. She was talking about it.
Okay.
So we talked about maybe making a day trip down to Chicago to catch Twisters in a different type of theater.
Sounds almost like an attraction at Disney World.
Well, yeah, well, she's definitely into that, and so am I.
Yeah.
So definitely
Yeah.
something up our alley. Be a little something different to go do.
All right. Well, no, I definitely want to see it. I think my arm would have to be severely twisted to go see it in the theater, rather than just waiting it out. Because I mean, it's not like when we were growing up, when
Yeah,
you had to go see in the theater, else it would take like a year for it to come out on
VHS.
VHS.
Yeah, definitely. It is way different. Like in like a month, you can watch it on Amazon or
Yeah,
one
yeah.
one of the other streaming services for sure.
But I will say what you're talking about with going to see it in Chicago, that sounds really sweet. I'd be
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's interesting. I don't think we've never done anything quite like that, so it'd be interesting
yeah.
to go check something like that just to see what it actually entails.
Um, that kind of makes me think. Remember, like I don't know if they really do this anymore, but like there was always that big, huge summer, blockbuster movie, where it would be promoted everywhere. They'd partner up with like McDonald's, and McDonald's would have cups with the
Oh yeah,
characters on it, and their packaging would all be, in relation to the big
it's a
movie.
movie. Yeah.
I don't know if they do that stuff anymore, really. But I wonder if that some of that just has to do with people not really going to watch movies at the theater anymore either.
Oh man, I still think the theaters are still pretty packed, especially when they come. Like I know they couldn't get tickets last night. It opened up and they couldn't get
Oh,
tickets, so they had to wait till tonight to watch that Wolverine or Deadpool Wolverine one.
okay.
Yeah, I wonder if that just has to do with like maybe at one point there's obviously like this big pause in the movie industry during what was that right after COVID or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if that had something to do with maybe because you're right, like you don't see maybe the big promotion
Yeah.
outside the commercials, the trailer, maybe social media has something to do with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and then too, I mean, obviously you mentioned with the Deadpool Wolverine movie, they couldn't get tickets um to the show they wanted, but that's how it used to be for like every black big time movie.
Yeah.
It'd be so hard to be able to get in on opening night. People would be waiting in line
Yeah.
forever
And
just to
now
be
you
in.
just purchase them online,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you can check right away. Oh, this movie's full. I can go to the next show. Oh, it's full.
yeah,
Next show, whatever. So
yeah.
yeah,
I remember too, like with our, we only had two theaters back in the day, and you'd always be like, which theater is going to get which movie, or like Jurassic Park, which movie is going to get Jurassic Park, the original, and then it was like a huge deal when it was actually they were going to show it in two different theaters instead of just one,
oh,
or
wow.
two, yeah.
Yeah, split it up and
Well, I
well,
mean,
not split it up. Have both theaters could show it, and then you had to pick.
no, at two different theaters at the same theater.
Oh, I
So
got it.
they would show it in two different.
Two time slots.
Yeah, well, two different, and not this even at the same time, but just because to accommodate
So many
all
people.
people that, yeah,
Two different showings at the same theater.
yes, yes.
Ah, she's yeah, we're old. Oh, we're old.
Yeah, been a long week, so.
Yeah, I
Well,
got you.
and then also speaking of movies, this is the movie episode of the Attack the Rack podcast. Netflix has a couple documentaries coming out. Back to kind of talking football. Connor Stalions documentary, August 30. He was the assistant coach that maybe went rogue for the Michigan Wolverines last season.
Yep,
Caused Harbaugh, what, a 3-game suspension for that?
correct.
He was going and to me, it doesn't seem like anything bad. He was going to other games and scouting them, scouting opponents, getting their signs.
Yeah, I think I think I think the issue is he was directly trying to steal the signs, allegedly. I mean, it'll the documentary will be interesting to see maybe his take because we haven't heard from him at all.
Yeah, I know. That's the crazy thing.
You
Yeah, he's
know,
just an incognito.
yeah. So that would be, but I think the point is that you shouldn't do that. Like if you're going to scout the opponent, obviously signs can be stolen here or there by chance. I don't. You're probably stepping outside the realm of um, ethics by directly trying to steal the signs. Maybe.
Well, I
Yeah.
actually,
Do teams already do that? Who knows?
yeah, I mean, you've been a long time basketball coach. You go and scout your opponents, and you hear what they're calling out, and then what try to, know what
Yeah.
set they're going to run. I think what the issue here is the reason it's against NCAA rules is it comes down to certain programs being able to afford to send coaches to other games and be able to afford the travel and the tickets for the games, where some programs might not be able to afford that. And so in an effort to keep more of a level playing field, I think that's part of the issue as well, why it's a
Yeah.
rule.
Yeah. No, that's definitely why it's a rule. I think, but I still think there's something to be said about like obviously football, any team in any sport can get film on somebody these days, and most I mean in college the games are there for you to explore and watch as many as you want,
Yeah.
but there's not a direct like there's not someone watching the signals and then watching the play and putting it together. I don't think, and
Yeah, yeah.
maybe there is maybe teams have to use that. In basketball, I mean, it's a little bit different. I think it's hey, you hear them call something out, and you have already heard that, or they ran it once, and now you know what's coming. You've seen, you might play them once already if they're a league type team.
Yeah.
In football, it's probably a little different with the fact that if you scout it that way, you have a pretty good idea what's coming. You can probably make an adjustment on the fly. Um, so yeah, I think there's obviously the rules in the NCAA against going to another team's facility to watch a game and scout it that way. But I also think there's a little bit of if you would hope um, that you don't cross that line of maybe trying to steal signs
Yeah.
in the moment. In the moment, it can happen,
Yeah.
but beforehand, I'm not sure you're because I don't think they have the ability to go watch a game on film and see signs slash the play.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think you'd be able to unless the camera. Yeah, I think it would be
unless
very
it catches it.
difficult.
But they use, I mean, they use so many different signings. You know, they got 3 or 4 people on the sideline
Yeah,
doing things. Exactly. I mean, I guess if you see it enough, you probably have a pretty good idea what's coming. But
yeah,
you wouldn't hope that would be part of the scouting process. It would take a little bit out of the gamemanship, I would think.
yeah. Fair enough. And then I just saw this right before we hopped on here, so I don't have a lot of details on this, but I do see also now another documentary, I believe August 20th on Netflix, documentary about Steve McNair, former NFL star quarterback for the Tennessee Titans, who was tragically murdered, shot, and killed after he had retired. But so I don't really have any details about that. But I was a Steve McNair fan. I remember not really watching him in college because he played at Elkhorn State.
Yeah, yeah.
Games weren't televised, but starting to hear about this guy from Elkhorn State. Where the hell is Elkhorn State? And ended up having a phenomenal career. And then
Yeah,
I was,
probably what the first real like mobile quarterback after Cunningham, maybe, or
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he probably,
he had a gun of an arm, I mean, he
yeah.
had a cannon.
And, Steve Young in there too. He kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
maybe bridged
true.
that gap between Randall and Steve McNair. But yeah, that one of the first, that style. Yeah.
Dual threat type
Yeah.
quarterbacks. Dante Culpepper probably in
Right.
that range. I don't know
Yep.
when those errors collided, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So,
That'd be an interesting one to watch. I was going to add. We brought it up in our podcast with Trent. The Olympic soccer was it soccer drone?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking of,
she got fired, right, or got let go.
oh, the head coach
The head
or
coach, I believe, the head coach is that
wow.
Canada. I don't know if it was
No,
Canada.
it was New Zealand was it New Zealand spying on Canada or Canada spying on New Zealand? I think it was New Zealand spying on Canada.
Yeah, I can't remember now,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think that coach got let go.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Speaking of alleged taking scouting too far. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
All
Um,
right. Well, you got anything else, Big Mo?
no, no, I do not. I do
All
not.
right. All right. Well, I think we got a winning episode here. Undefeated. That'll kind of lead us into our winner of the week to end the pod here. Segment winner of the week. Looking for a sponsor. I didn't even earlier when I mentioned too the email. I forgot to say the email address.
Oh, sure, you sure did.
It's attack the rack 3333 at gmail.com. Hit us up. Anything you want. Also looking for sponsors for the podcast, daily lineup show, anything like that. But even more importantly, at this juncture, we just love to hear from you.
Yeah,
Love to hear what you think. Give some takes. Maybe we can read on the show here. And
yeah,
again,
maybe
it'll be anonymous unless you don't want it to be anonymous.
no, true, true. Maybe like a little Powerade sponsorship.
Yeah, if
Powerade.
they're out there. Yeah, yeah. Maybe like Nike or something. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah, sure, sure.
So,
Why not?
all right.
Why not?
Anyway, so speaking of us winning again here, let's wrap up with our winner of the week. Who you got, or what do you got?
Oh, I'm gonna go back to sports just to kind of finish it strong. But I'm going the WNBA All Star team.
Yeah. Okay.
You gotta love that they kind of took it to the Olympic team and just kind of rubbed it in a little bit. Like, hey, maybe you should have considered some of us for the team as well. So, shout out to the WNBA All Star team
Yeah.
and the All Star game itself was
Yeah.
competitive, fun to watch. Um, it definitely will help me or want me to tune into the second half of the season.
Yeah. No, for sure. They definitely did in that second half. They did stick it to them. So, yeah, it was a great competitive game, which you don't see in all-star games. So yeah, it was fun to watch. All right, my winner of the week, Dylan Cease, San Diego Padres, no hitter.
Yeah,
I think it was yesterday, Thursday. So
it
again,
was. It
we're
was.
recording on Friday here, so it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday. So shout out to him, no hitter. Always got to love a good Uh,
Second one in Padre history.
yeah, you're right. Yep. So
Do you know who threw the first one?
I don't. Can I guess? Do you know who it was?
Oh, I have no clue.
What? Quick Google it. Let me guess.
Okay.
Uh, I only got one. I think I only
I
got one
mean,
guess. So
I only could probably name one pitcher for him. As I don't even know if I could. Padre. Okay. What's your guess, Kurt?
Goose Gossage.
That was the name I was thinking.
Okay.
Um. Oh. Uh-oh.
Actually, was Goose Gossage even a starting pitcher?
I think at some point early in his career, he pitched forever though.
Yeah.
Um. That can't be right, is it? Joe Musgrove,
Oh, okay.
2021.
Oh, so they've only had two in franchise history, and they've both been within 3 years.
I believe so, Kurt.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So Goose Gossage here, Big Mo,
Yeah.
18 seasons,
Sure.
win-loss record of 124 and 107. So if he only won 124 games in 18 years, nine different teams, by the way, my thought is he probably wasn't a starter.
Well, I think he probably was. I think he started out as a starter and then maybe moved into the bullpen.
Well, I will say that in 1978, which was only 6 years into his season or into his career, he won the um what's it called? The Rolaids Relief Man of the Year
All
award.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
He led the league in saves three times, the American League in saves three times. So, the reason that I thought maybe he wasn't a starter is because he's well known for giving up that home run in the '84 World Series to Kirk Gibson, the walk-off
Oh.
winning home run. So that's why I was like, well, maybe he wasn't a starter because he probably wouldn't have been in the game.
Well, in '76 he was a starter, Kurt. But then he became a middle reliever.
Okay.
Um,
So maybe his first
he might
five,
have
six,
been a middle reliever early on in his career because I think he started in what 70, 72.
yeah, 72.
So I think he was an early. I think he was a mid reliever. In '76, he spent some time as a starter,
Okay.
and then transitioned into maybe a little bit of a closer.
How awesome is technology? Because you and I
Yeah,
just became Goose Gossage experts on the fly because of this really cool website called Google.
yeah,
Awesome. I mean, and we just play. I mean, we just played it off like we knew everything about Goose Gossage,
yeah,
and we
yeah.
were
Well,
really learning
that
as we were going. That's
that internet thing is really cool.
awesome. Oh man, what a
Uh,
great show!
yeah.
What a great show! That was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Well, it always is, Kurt.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun here at the Attack the Rack YouTube channel, especially on the Attack the Rack podcast. We'll see you again next Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Don't forget, I have a live show Monday mornings at 7 a.m. That does end up uploading as a regular video at the conclusion. But that's 7 a.m. live Monday mornings. And then, what's becoming quite a hit on the channel, which we gotta love, our Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday show every night at 7 p.m. called the Daily Lineup Show, where we just talk about the most recent 3 to 5 topics in sports for the day. So, and that's with myself, Big Mo, and Trent. So, all right, Big Mo. Well, have a great weekend.
You as well.
All
You as
right,
well.
we will. All right, we'll see you Tuesday.
Sounds good.